All right, everybody, welcome back to the Gentleman's Bureau. Diving right into it. This is episode 49 with me and Jed because, we're the two cool guys that don't have to work 3 jobs and run around on the weekends with our motorcycles. Lane Miller.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It just sucks that he's getting so busy, but I think we might see a resurgence as the colder weather sets in. But then again, he does like to board, so I don't know. Maybe we'll see even less of him. Who knows? He's out there in Denver living his best life. I wish him all the best. Um. Anyway, Mark, where are you right now? You're in a new place, a new location. I'm worried. Are you safe? Have you been kidnapped?
Well, I am completely safe. I I do not need help at all. And was that okay? Okay. Anymore? Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Mark, blink 3 times quickly if you need me to send the SWAT team. That was like 12. I'm just gonna say, hey, get him in there. He needs them. Go. Yeah, the mission's a go. Go. Fucking God. Put your fucking chips down and go.
Well, let's see how that works.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, man. All right. It's cool. It's cool. So this is your newer house, right?
Yeah, this
You're
is
still
still my
kind of
house.
moving in, aren't you?
I literally, so you guys always see the blue wall that is now behind this computer, and everything's turned because it's got a new computer, and I need it. It's like bigger, nicer, everything. I was usually just on a laptop before, but now I have like a desktop, and it just needs to be more secure. So it's like against the wall on a table and everything. So
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't want the risk of like just having a laptop sitting in the middle of a room or a desktop. Like I got cats and everything. Who knows what's gonna happen?
Heckin' cats, man. I mean, yes, dude. Speaking of dangerous electronic positions, our good buddy Pat, when he had his desktop tower hooked up to his big old TV, because he doesn't really have a monitor, he just has a big like 50-inch TV that he uses for everything. Uh, his sister's dog barreled into his room, got caught up on either the HDMI or the power cord, and man, ripped the whole thing down, dude. His computer was out for like 2-3 months, maybe longer, because it like messed up. He still can't use one of the HDMI ports or something, and then it messed up like his operating system because like it broke his motherboard got messed up. I don't remember exactly what happened, but it
Jeez.
was bad. And then his sister was just like, "It's not my fault. The dog did it. You gonna blame the dog? No, I'm gonna blame the fucking owner.
Yeah. You get
Pay me to
mad and
fix my shit."
everything, but it was just an accident. I assume, unless
Yeah.
unless they're like Patrick's playing too much on that game. Let's ruin it for him. Let's ruin his life.
I don't know. I guess just like as a responsible dog owner, like my dog did damages to somebody else's property, whether it's an accident or not, I would just feel responsible.
Oh yeah. Same. Like your dog shits in the park, you pick it up, right?
Yeah, then you go to that one guy's house that you don't like and you just drop it off.
No, of course. Have you seen the video where the lady, God, it's like this lady and her boyfriend are walking this Chihuahua or something like that, like a really tiny dog, and the dog's taking a shit in this guy's yard, and the guy comes out. I swear to God, he's from Boston or something like that, because he's like, "Hey, you fucking whore!" He comes out of his cauldron a whore right away. He's like, "Pick up your dog shit, you fucking whore." And she's like, "It's a tiny dog. It's fine." He's like, "Fuck you. I will beat the living shit out of your boyfriend if you do not pick that up. And that dude is like, he's like a tiny, skinny, like little rail of a guy. So he's freaking out. He's like, well, you better pick up that shit because I don't want to get my ass kicked. And she's like, I don't have a bag. He's like, pick it up with your fucking hands. And she just does and walks away. I was like, what a boss. That's awesome.
Now, to be fair, we all know that guy had like 1,000 Walmart bags in his house, just like the rest of us. He could have given her a bag.
That would have been great. I think it's the principle, though. Like, it's like, oh, you have let your dog shit in my yard so many times. I am so pissed at you. This ain't going down ever again.
Right, and furthermore, like, they went to walk the dog and they didn't take bags. Like, they weren't intending to pick up this dog's shit no matter where it went. Fuck you.
Exactly.
I don't pick up my dog's shit in my yard. That's my yard. I don't care. They have their spot. They can shit there. I got a lot of yard. It's okay if they shit in that one spot.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I just don't go there.
I get what you're saying. So let's see. I don't know. What I really hate is like people that do pick up the dog shit, but then they leave it in the bag, and then they leave it out like on the sidewalk. It's like you've made it invincible now. You've turned it into a super strength, and that thing now the bag's gonna fucking decompose, and then there's gonna be dog shit everywhere that's like twice as worse. Oh, it's bad.
Yeah. Have you ever seen one where like the bag's 3 times bigger than the shit inside of it because it's just somehow become airtight and it just starts swelling up with the gases?
Oh,
those
God.
are fun. Those are, you just like, if that pops, everybody in this town's gonna die.
Yeah, that you've just made a fucking nuclear weapon right there.
Pretty much, yeah. Insert mushroom cloud, but of like stink smells, you know?
Stink smell. So like the Green Day Dookie album.
Well, I mean, the album was good, but yeah, the Dookie album.
Yeah. What was another thing I thought? Shit about shit. Dog shit. Oh yeah, picking up dog shit. We were. Fuck. I don't know. We got sidetracked, and now I'm just afraid that I'm gonna step in dog shit someday. I don't like that. Oh, I never stepped in dog shit in my yard in Illinois.
Really?
Yeah, because my fucking dogs would like go in the cornfield and shit. They were like, we didn't even train them to do that. They just did it. I was like, this is awesome. I got some smart ass dogs. Like they would pee in the yard and whatnot, but like never took a shit in the yard. They would just run to the cornfield or like bean field and like shit in the bean field, cornfield. I was like, this is amazing.
There you go. There you go. That's pretty good stuff right there. You know what I would have done if I was walking my dog and that guy started yelling at me to pick up the shit before I even had a chance to do it myself? I would pick up the shit. And I would leave. And then I'd watch his house until he left. And then under the cover of darkness, while he was gone, I would shit in his yard.
You would shit in his yard?
Yeah.
Front porch.
No, right underneath the bottom step. Like right where he wouldn't see it when he comes out of the door.
Oh,
you know? But like as soon as, because you check the stairs when you come out the door, right? Just like, yep, stairs are clear, I'm good. And then you just kind of pop, 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 right down the stairs, right into my own shit. Fuck that guy.
Ooh, that would be pretty bad. Yeah, it's human shit. Even worse. There's something about like dog shit. It's pretty bad or whatever. Like you get a human shit. Ugh.
Yeah, man. I'll drink nothing but shitty whiskey and eat a bunch of red meat, and that'll be my diet until I get that done. And then when he finally gets that shit in his yard, he'll fucking know.
Is there blood in here? Oh my god! What's wrong with the dogs in the neighborhood? Oh, call the vet.
I know the recipe for some real rot gut shit, okay? It's not that hard.
Exactly. Oh my god! I'll tell you what I had that gave me like, I wouldn't say like just terrible stomach everything. It was just bad. I had this pizza the other day, and I don't know what it was. It was not a place that I usually go. It was kind of like a smaller place, but they had this special, so I was like, oh yeah, I'll do this, whatever. The pizza was just like packed with garlic, and then like it had like sausage on it, right? So it was like this wiener garlic pizza thing. And I don't know. I ate it. It was okay. I mean, it wasn't the best pizza in the world, but it destroyed my stomach. Like I was like, "What is going on?"
Damn.
It was awful. But then on top of that, it was like, "Oh, you drank like 6 beers."
That'll do it, man.
That might
That'll
have
do
been
it.
part of it. It was like all dark beer too, but I'm blaming the pizza because I drink dark beer all the time, so I don't know.
Probably the mix, you know? Probably the mix.
Yeah. It's figured out. Figured out.
Yeah, we figured it out. Yeah, man, I've only had rot gut a few times, so that was really just after I drank a lot of whiskey. Because it'll do it to you. And I find, sorry guys, TMI on this one, but like I find with whiskey, it either makes me constipated or the opposite. If I drink it, like it does, it's not like if I drink this much, it's constipated, and like if I drink more, it's the other. It's like whatever amount of whiskey, one of them is gonna happen. It's just like roll the dice, Am I not gonna shit for a week, or am I gonna be shitting all week? Which is it? No, it's not that severe. It usually doesn't happen unless I'm like drinking whiskey all night or like having mixers a lot. Like whiskey sours. Because there was a few days up there in Wisconsin, we would go to like I did research, and when we finally got paid, we'd been living on like base, as little money as possible for like a month or so. And we finally would get this like $3,000 check of like our stipend finally coming in, and then we would just eat out for like an entire week straight, because that's what you do, right? When you finally have money, you just spend it, right? America. anyway, so yeah, we'd be eating out like every day for like a whole week, and we'd there's tons of places up in Wisconsin to get good drinks, but everywhere in Wisconsin you can get a drink. It's Wisconsin. There's more bars than churches, and there's a lot of churches. It's also true for Illinois. It's not as much.
No.
But like pretty much like everywhere we went, I would get like a whiskey sour or like a brandy sour. Because
okay.
no, I either get like a whiskey sour, brandy, or a brandy old fashioned. I was going between sours and old fashions a lot. And man, after that week, I needed some alone time, and not because I wanted it, because they needed it. So I would just go 2 floors up to the next men's bathroom, because that's how the dorms were divided. If it wasn't a solely girl dorm or a solely boy dorm, of which there was only one each, and the girl dorm was much bigger than the boy dorm, just saying, fucking equality, not exactly. Anyway, it would be separated by floors, so it'd be like guys, girls, or the opposite, or some, guys, girls, guys. So we would always just go to a floor that we didn't have to be down the hall from to take care of bigger business.
Nice. That's most of, everybody else was doing that to you guys too, though. So
that was what I was about to say. I was like, yes, but that does work backwards too, unfortunately.
Yep.
The thing is, though, because of in the summertime, they have a bunch of like camps for like high school kids or younger even. So a lot of times, it was a pretty one-sided fight. They just didn't have access to the things that make your stomach go out.
Oh my god. That's poor kids
Anyway,
dealing
enough
with.
disgusting talk here.
Yeah, that's true. We're getting in some graphic, nasty shit.
Insert fart sounds.
Yeah. I don't know. Like in college, whiskey doesn't really do anything to my stomach. Just because I would, I had like free coffee all the time. They were always giving away coffee in college, and then I was like, coffee and whiskey just makes sense. And I would study like that most of the time. So I'd be up like all night drinking coffee and whiskey. So I don't know.
Hey.
I just kind of got like maybe an iron stomach to that.
Maybe. Free coffee, dude. Fuck you. We had a Starbucks, and it was expensive.
I didn't. No, it wasn't like it was high quality coffee. It was just free. It was all right.
I would have been fine with free shitty coffee, but we didn't have free coffee. We had shitty coffee that you'd get if you bought the so like we had the cafe, the calf or whatever. And that
Yeah.
was like what the school made. But then they also had like an organization that kind of ran all the food at Carthage, and they also like accepted other like vendors. So like instead of Subway, we had Sub Connection. Instead of Buffalo Wild Wings, we had like something about wings, you know? Instead of,
Something about wings.
Taco Bell or any of those other like Mexican chains, we had Baja Fresh, right?
Ooh, that sounds way cooler though.
Yeah, we only had two like normal, like three. No, we had three normal sounding like eating places on campus, and that was Starbucks, Seattle's Best Coffee, and Einstein Bros Bagels, which is where
Well,
I got most
Einstein's
of my
Bagels is a real one, right? Like that's a
Einstein Bros. Dude,
big
it's
boss.
good. It's good. The thing about Einstein Bagels that threw me off though is they don't have cream cheese. No, they have schmear. It's all about the schmear. Schmear. Be like, yo, can I get some schmear? They're like, what? I'm like, I like some schmear. Can I get some extra schmear? But anyway, so yeah, and the cheapest coffee was in the calf, but it was massive pot. It's been there all day usually, unless you got there late in the morning. But I mean, it just wasn't great. It was super super weak.
Mm-hmm.
And when you pour out coffee and you're like, this is tea, you're like, this isn't coffee, But yeah, I mean, hey, it was a good time. I spent way too much money at Starbucks because it was in the science part of the campus, which is where I spent most of my time. So like I'd get there in the morning after working 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. at Amazon. Thanks a lot, Bezos, you dick. I was trying to get an education. I'd get there at like 8 o'clock for my pre-calculus class. This is freshman year, dude. I'm new to college. I'm in a new environment, living with my uncle, who I've barely met, and working 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. and then I'm going to class at 8 o'clock in the morning. And as a freshman, they kind of pile you up with like as much stuff as possible. So I had 4 classes and 3 labs, like almost every day. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. So I'd go to pre-calc. I'd get my coffee. If I was lucky, we'd have Kringle because somebody guessed a football game win right, which was very often because there was like 30 of us in the class and somebody would get it right and get kind of close to the score, whatever. And then my buddy Glenn, who we've had on the podcast, would wake me up when we went to grade the homework, and I would just fill in the places that I left blank when I did the homework, and then I hand it in and get an A+ or an A-, or just a generally good grade because he was giving me the answers as we graded our own homework. And then I'd go right back to sleep, wouldn't listen to the lesson.
Damn.
And it would have been suspicious, it would have been really suspicious, but I did good on the tests because I was just, decent at math at the time. And then we did do like papers. And papers were like supposed to like really show how much you understood the concepts. So like when he would assign them, I would have no idea what he was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But then I would just Google it and I'd be like, oh, I can just write this while I'm reading this and it'll be different enough.
There you go.
Yeah,
As
he
a
was
kid.
also about like 75. He probably shouldn't have been teaching anymore, but whatever.
Oh yeah, I've run into a couple teachers like that where it's like, no, you need to retire. Like, can you see? Could you what?
Right.
I had a teacher that had MS, and I was like, this guy, like it was getting to the point where it was like really really bad for him. I was like, oh no, like, oh no, he can't teach. Like he can't get around the school at all. It was bad. Like they had to like install rails all over the place so he could like grab onto them and pull himself around. It was ooh, I was concerned whenever I seen him in the hallway. I was like, just don't look at him. Don't look at him. Like
Right.
he falls. I just keep going.
What was cool was one of our oldest teachers rode his bike to school every day. And I
Hmm.
mean bicycle.
Oh, okay.
He was just like, he's one of those, he was taller. I don't really want to say gangly or scrawny because it just sounds disrespectful to like a teacher who was a cool teacher. But he was just a thin dude, you know,
Skinny like a rail.
not quite, yeah, pretty much. And yeah, he rode his bicycle to school every day, every morning. And when it rained, he would get a ride. I think he had his like wife come pick him up or something. But we saw him getting picked up a few times when it was like shitty weather out, which in the Midwest on Lake Michigan, never know when that's gonna happen.
Of course. Yeah, I had an alcoholic teacher too.
Yeah,
Yeah, he had to ride a bike. It was pretty fucking funny.
you know, I don't think that was involved, but it could have been.
Every time, like, even yeah, up until I moved to Japan, like I guess, well, Champaign, there was a lot of people that rode bicycles, and I was just like, damn, there's a lot of fucking drunks around here, because that's what I was just used to. Like anybody that's riding a bicycle, you just think like, uh, lost their license because of the DUI.
Nah, man, lawnmowers.
Lawnmower. Oh, that's even better. Oh, those are a little bit classier alcoholics that they say I ain't gonna ride no fucking bike. I'm going straight and mower, boys.
Yeah, man, and then they would get a mower specifically because it had a cup holder.
Yep, they give them. God damn.
Or
Oh, they
I
get
saw
the
one
basket
guy.
on the back so they can throw their empty beer cans in it.
Yeah,
As
the
they
the,
ride
the
around.
like the mulcher thing that's supposed to collect the clippings so you don't have to rake afterwards. Nope,
Yeah,
just take the top off, empties in one side, fresh ones in the other.
that's right.
Boom.
Oh, I've seen that so many times. Oh,
Yeah.
whenever they fill it up with ice, too. Oh my god. Uh, they just like just reach in and grab another beer. That's exactly.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we both saw that in the exact same town too.
Exact same dude.
Probably at the same house.
Yep. Love that guy.
You
He's
love that
great.
guy. Great guy.
I fucking genius.
Hey man, it works. Gets you around.
That's right. Yeah, so I just assumed everybody was drunks whenever I first got here too, and I was like, God damn, there's a lot of fucking alcoholics here. And now people actually ride bicycles in other parts of the world outside
Yeah.
the Midwest for, I don't know,
Ex-
finances, for leisure,
exercise.
exercise. Just because, hey, why do I need a car to go, 3 miles to work? It's like, yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah. I hear it's really big in the Netherlands. Like the bikes in the Netherlands are like crazy.
Yeah,
Then again, you gotta
I've
remember
heard
like these
something about
towns
that.
are it's weird to think about like how different Europe towns are compared to like American towns. Because like American towns, like even the old ones are spread out,
Yeah,
right? Like, because it started off as just I'm gonna put a farm here, and then somebody else be like, "Hey, I like your farm. I'm gonna put a farm right here,"
yep,
and then slowly it just slowly gets more packed and packed and packed, and like aside from like those downtowns where the buildings are literally like one huge brick building that's been like, pieced together over the years, and there's
yep,
literally no gaps. Other than that, the rest of the towns are like super spread out. Everybody's got yards and shit. But then you go to like Europe and everything's packed tight, like Like when I was in Germany, like it was a 750-year-old town, which blew my mind just to begin with. And the streets, like where they were so narrow, you would like, you know, you could barely get a car down it at all. And if somebody was parked on the side of the road, you were on somebody's sidewalk trying to get around them. It was
Mhm.
tight, dude. So like it makes more sense, I guess, that bikes would be like more common because you're not gonna go very far. Everything's close, you know.
Well, also like in Europe, you don't travel like long distance to go to a grocery store like we would
Hmm.
out in the countryside, right?
Right.
Like same here in Japan. Like every, uh, I'd be like every section of town kind of has the grocery store that you go to, the like hardware store you go to, the this, that, and the other. So
Yeah.
you don't like travel a big distance to go do anything, really. And I don't know. I think because of the American influence, like a lot of Okinawans have cars, but they'll still be like the kind of people that are like, I'm not going to drive an hour to do anything. I won't even drive, 30 minutes. Like they don't want to do that.
Meanwhile, here in the Midwest, we're like, oh, you want to go to Florida? Yeah, it's only a 14-hour drive. Hop in.
Yep, exactly. Like we're doing a weekend in fucking where Oklahoma for the casinos, right? Nobody bats an eyelash.
Right.
Let's just drive. Yeah.
I mean, it sucks too because, like, and you think about it, a lot of the reason that I think people do that here in the Midwest is because, it's so ingrained to have a car to get places you need to go. So, like, even if it is like really far away and you don't technically want to drive, when you look at the cost of the flight, renting a car, and all that bullshit that goes with it, it's just cheaper to drive. And then you'll
Yeah.
have your car. You don't need to rent one because when you get there, because you'll have yours. So I don't know. I think that's what gets a lot of people to just drive because you don't have to worry about it. It's just
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. It's weird.
Well, like if I'm in mainland Japan and I like want to go somewhere, it's not expensive and it's not hard to get around with trains. So I'm just like, oh yeah, take the train.
Yeah, like
And
subways.
what?
You're talking about like subways or like
Yeah,
actual like trains.
yeah, I can take like the subway or I can take a bullet train from one city to the next in 2 hours.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Because they
Like,
got the high speed train.
yeah, that's what's really
200
really cool.
kilometers per hour.
Well, yeah, like shit. What's the really cool thing? You can go from like Tokyo to Osaka in a handful of hours, like less than five. Definitely less than five. Probably like 2 or 3.
Yeah, and that's like almost opposite ends of the mainland, isn't it?
Kinda like they're far enough apart where it's like, whoa, that's quite a distance.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh,
Japanese people like trains too.
I
Like,
like trains.
yeah, autism. Autistic people love trains. You just look at me all fucked up. They do.
Did you just call all of Japan autistic?
Well, um, they
I
okay.
think you
Think
might have.
about this. Really good at math, numbers, trains.
I mean, you're
Uh,
generalizing. Uh,
yeah, generalizing. Yeah. What else? Shit.
are
I
they
don't know
awkward
what
with
else do
social
autistic people
situations?
like.
How do they do in social settings? Are they awkward?
And yeah, actually, pretty
Well,
pretty stiff
shit.
people.
Fuck.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I'm not saying all of Japan's autistic, but I'm not saying they're not.
Imagine that if that like happened, like you just be like, News bulletin. Breaking news. This just in. Studies now confirm all of Japan is autistic. Like what? How would that escape people for so long?
Exactly.
And then
Oh, Lord.
you'd have to look at like the people that were like already autistic within Japan and like contrast them against the rest of Japan and be like, wait, these guys are like super autistic.
God.
Not that there's anything wrong with being autistic. Honestly, I think it can lead to some interesting things. I mean, some of like the best like composers and artists are believed now to be on the spectrum because, and I don't even really understand it. I just know that a lot of times people on the spectrum they get like one thing that they're just like the best at,
Yeah.
which is cool, man. I like that. I'm not very good at anything.
Well, I might be on the spectrum. I have my moments.
Maybe.
Mm,
Anyway, let's talk about a different spectrum, eh?
spectrum.
So, I mean, it's actually not a spectrum. I was thinking of like the visible light spectrum, but then I was trying to tie that into space, and I just wasn't sure how to bridge that gap. But yeah,
Yeah.
like I was saying though, space. I don't know how to tie that into visible spectrum, but anyway, space. We're talking about space now. Boom, space talk. In news today with space, not really today, but in
I
recent
still can't
times.
see you, bro.
Really, I can see myself.
Oh, is it? Shit. Is it recording? Are you okay? Are you frozen? You good with that?
No, I'm choppy, but I'm moving, and I'm all right with it because it might not be on the recording. I don't know.
All right. Well, I'll let you continue. Sorry.
Yeah, it's like I was talking about with space. We're talking about space now. Space news, recent times. The crew of the Inspiration 4 recently made their debut. Have you heard about the Inspiration 4, Mark?
No, I didn't even hear about the Inspiration 3, bro.
I mean, I didn't hear about Inspiration 1, 2, or 3 either, but the Inspiration 4 is a mission by SpaceX in their Dragon crew capsule where they sent 4 civilians into space with no crew. So, like, something goes wrong, it's just 4 civilians up there that do not know how to fix the spaceship, you know?
Oh no.
But the idea is that they're just going to orbit for like 3 days and then gravity will just bring them back in, you know, naturally, like they do. But it's really cool, it's the first all-civilian space flight. And unlike Bezos and Branson, it's like an actual space flight. They're actually astronauts now. They've orbited the planet just a couple times.
Oh
Um,
no.
and yeah, I mean it's really cool, and I think the people that they picked are pretty good. I think they picked a good group of people. I mean
Yeah.
they did pick 2 white guys, so I mean actually I think
Was
one of them might be more complicated. He definitely looks kind of funny, but I don't know. But then one of the girls that they picked is a cancer survivor, like a childhood cancer survivor, and now she works as like a nurse at St. Jude. And I thought that was really cool because that's really going to be like a moment, it's going to really be something to those kids. I mean, yeah,
Yeah, for
pretty cool.
sure.
And I mean, it's just cool to see space being because like the whole idea was that it's supposed to like demonstrate that space will someday be for everyone. It's not
Ah,
just the mega rich.
the big
Uh,
old symbol.
yeah, which would be really cool, man. I'd like to go to space sometime. You want to go to space, man?
Yeah, I think so. Like, I don't know.
You think so? Somebody asks you want to go to space, you say hell yes.
Yeah, but then at the same time, like I like Earth. Like it's cool. I don't know what's out there in space.
But
A little
don't you want to
scary.
see Earth from space?
Ah, that's true. That would be cool to see Earth from space. See how not flat it is.
Right.
Fucking crazy
Right.
people.
Right. Yeah, but other than that, there's also a lot of Mars stuff going on. Most of it's kind of, I wouldn't say boring, but it's slow, you know? It's not like crazy big exciting news, but in 2020, 2021, like the last couple of years, like 4 different countries have launched probes to Mars. All of them right around the same time. Like China sent a probe, Dubai, well, not Dubai, but United Arab Emirates, they sent their like a probe to Mars, and then Russia, and then us. We actually sent the Pathfinder. I think it was the Pathfinder. I might be wrong about that, but it was a rover that was gonna be like taking rock samples and like mapping out like topography and just kind of exploring the Martian surface. But then they also wanted to look at weather patterns. So they also attached to it a helicopter. Yeah. It's just this little like 4-pound, it's almost like a drone, honestly.
Okay.
It's like a double stack of helicopter blades that obviously spin probably in opposition, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really cool. So basically, it was just on the belly of the rover, and then it got somewhere and it was just like, bloop, and then the rover backed up, and then the helicopter went. Yeah,
That's cool.
Cool. It's first unmanned flight on a different planet. But there's a 20-minute like delay between us and them for communications, so it's kind of just got to flat itself. Which is pretty cool that we've as humans we designed a helicopter that can just fly itself on a different planet.
That is insane.
It's just kind of crazy to think about. Like, what?
Mind explosion.
Explosions. Speaking of explosions, another thought that I had the other day, I was watching a PewDiePie video where he's trying to describe PewDiePie. He was trying to describe like the multiverse theory. And while I was listening to him, I was getting my own ideas. I was like, "This is some good content. I'm gonna copy this." No, but I started thinking about like explosions in space, right? So the Big Bang, the start of our universe, when a tiny, sub-microscopic dot of super dense matter just popped and expanded into gas clouds, which eventually created, matter and shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to describe. I'm not an astrophysicist, but basically there was nothing and then there was a lot quickly. And it's always expanding. So it's an explosion, right? It's exothermic. It let off a lot of heat. It's definitely an explosion. The beginning of the universe was an explosion.
Okay.
And then what kind of cued it all in with PewDiePie was that he said something about like one piece of the multiverse theory, one like level of it, is that like it's just all space, right? And like eventually we could leave our universe, just like we travel through the universe now, right? Like if we eventually had like a starship that could go faster than the expansion of our universe, then we could leave it and we'd go through not space, but the stuff that's outside of space. We would go through that. And then eventually we'd find another universe that's been exploding for however long, probably just as long as ours, if the theories are correct. And it made me think of like, there's explosions in space, and if this multiverse theory is to be believed, there's multiple like Big Bang level explosions happening in space simultaneously. And then I started thinking about like, what happens if 2 explosions hit each other in space? And then I started thinking about like, what if universes collide? Like that's a big explosion, man. It's a huge explosion. What would happen if we, eventually our explosion reached another explosion, what would happen? Anti-Big Bang? New Big Bang? Bigger Big Bang?
Ripple effect, or
Maybe.
does one consume the other? If it's
I don't know. Black hole? I don't know. What would happen? So now I'm trying to. So after that, I was trying to think of like how I could possibly experiment with like seeing two explosions hit each other in a vacuum, and I just don't think there's a safe way to do that on Earth.
Well, okay, yeah. I don't think there is. Yeah, I was thinking like, well, you could get a vacuum chamber, and then I was like, well, how would you do it? Okay, no, that doesn't work.
Yeah, so one, you'd need an explosive that would work in a vacuum, which means it has to have no fire at all. Doesn't need oxygen. So I was thinking maybe like C4, possibly. But I don't know enough about C4 to know if it would work in a vacuum. And then I was thinking about like, how small could you make the C4 in order to decrease the size of the vacuum chamber you need? And it was just, I had too many questions and I had not enough answers. So I was just like, I'm just going to leave it, talk about it on the podcast, and ask people, tell me what they think. So do it in the comments below right now, or when they're done with the video. I'd recommend right now, though, honestly. Just let me know like what you think would happen if two explosives, and I'm just going to have to say like shockwaves, because, I mean, we know what would happen if two debris fields hit each other. Duh. But like, what would happen if like two explosion shockwaves hit each other in the vacuum of space? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you're an astrophysicist or somebody that's exploded stuff in space, hey, let us know. We'll get you on the podcast and you can talk to us about it.
Yeah, that would be really cool. We need some space talk.
I love space talk.
You're in love with space, man.
Love space, dude. I was born either 700 years late or an indeterminate amount of time early, depending on, because like we know, I know when the Middle Ages were. I know when I could have been a blacksmith in a king's court just making dope fucking swords and shit all the time. That was about 1300. Okay, that was me, or space pirate.
Galore.
That or space pirate. It was one of those two, and I'm now in, hey, you work with what you're given.
You work with what you get. I mean, you could go to one of those Renaissance thingies and dress up like an astronaut and play both.
I'm pretty sure I'd get like killed for being an astronaut at a Renaissance fair, but I like the idea.
That'd be so fucking great. Like spaceman walking around fucking Renaissance fair. Holy shit! You would piss off those people. They'd be like, "What is he doing? He's mocking us." Yes, I am.
There was speaking of that, there was a scene in Loki, the new Marvel television show or whatever, where they actually went to a Ren Fair, and there's a time police, dude. Like, they're like the farthest thing from a Ren Fair possible. They're the time police. And as they're like walking away, somebody's like, they're just like yelling at them, like, "You're not in costume," blah, blah, blah. And then somebody's just like, some of us need this. And I was just like, what? You need it? I mean, I guess escapism is like real and valuable, but need it?
Like, okay. Somebody once said, like, nerds that do all those things, they need it because, like, they just need a time and a place where they're not nerds. Like, that's what it is.
Right. Like
where they're not getting picked on. That's not now. Like, anything that's not now. Like, you could be like 3 days earlier where you're really cool fan fiction novel thing, right? And nerds are gonna be like, yes, I like this. I love this. I'm all about this.
Right. And that's why conventions are so big too, because like you're surrounded by like-minded people. I mean,
Yeah.
you're not gonna get bullied. You're not gonna get made fun of. You're not gonna look down on because you like this thing, because everybody else around you likes it, or at least respects it as form of entertainment or something or other. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I think that's cool. And I definitely like Ren Fairs. I haven't been to one, but I want to, which is
Oh,
super annoying considering that I just lived like really close to one for like 5-6 years and never went. But I didn't have a
man,
costume.
it's a good time. Don't get me wrong. I'll rip on these people, but I've had really good time at Ren Fairs, man. Like, go out, get like this big turkey leg, walk around and see all like the craftsmanship and the fucking artists.
And the wenches.
There'll be some fucking chick that has learned an instrument that's over 700 years old, and she's one of 5 people in the entire, state that knows how to play this thing. And she's there just cranking out ballads after ballads of dragons and knights, man. It's fucking cool.
Yeah, like the
Like,
bandola and shit.
yeah, man. And she'll tell the tale of the bard that slayed the orc with his noble steed.
Yeah, something like that. All right, Mark, it's settled. You got to come back, and we're gonna go to a Ren Fair.
Oh, that'd be cool, dude. You're gonna go full costume too?
If I can get one, I have a pirate costume I could wear. It might make sense.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going, we gotta go all out. Like, I'll get I'll
naturally.
get a fluffy shirt, some poofy pants. Dude,
Yeah.
let's do Princess Bride style.
I could be the Dread Pirate Roberts. My pirate costume's totally black, except for my boots.
That's cool, dude. I'll be the Princess Bride.
Yes, Princess Buttercup.
Hell yeah!
This is gonna be fucking hilarious. I cannot wait for this.
Oh,
That'd be shave though.
That'd be great.
Shave, but it's worth it. That'd be hilarious, dude.
I
wonder if
so fun.
I wonder if other countries have Ren Fairs.
Hmm.
Like, I feel like a Ren Fair in Germany would just be like the next fucking level.
I feel like they would. I feel like England would. Like, I feel like a lot of those places would, but like Ren Fair in Africa, nobody's popping on that one. Like,
no, I don't think so. What about Russia? You think Russia would have a Ren Fair?
You
think Russia would have a Ren Fair?
Russia would have something. I feel like Russia would have like a Viking fair. They'd be like, this is basically the same.
I mean, I could see like Norway, Sweden, Netherlands having like a Viking fair, but Russia?
Well, like Russia was, I guess Eastern Russia was populated by a lot of Vikings.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a small sliver of a huge country, Mark.
Well, yeah, and like what part of Russia basically sets the precedence for all of Russia is that small sliver.
Where Moscow is, yeah, I guess you're right there. Yeah.
They're like, we make Russian culture, and there's people that are literally living on the east side of Russia that are horse farmers, and they're tribal. They're more tribal people than they are like, I don't know, anything else.
Society.
And they've never learned about, I don't know, World War I or II.
Huh. I'm just starting to realize I don't know a lot of Russian history.
Neither do I.
I wonder if that comes back to like McCarthyism in the United States after Cold War. Like, weird. I don't know.
From living in Japan, I know a little bit about like how Japan whooped on Russia a couple times, but that's about it.
Word, legit. I mean, yeah, other than like a few names, like Vlad the Impaler was Russian. Catherine the Great was Russian. Rasputin was Russian. Anastasia, I know Anastasia, and that story, interesting story there. Yeah, that's about it, man. I don't know much about Russia.
If you want to learn like a little bit about Russia, like or even like any of the surrounding countries in Russia, there's this really good guy to watch on YouTube. It's mostly like Cold War and like pre-Cold War stuff, um, or like Soviet Union, I guess. And it's Bald and Bankrupt or something like that. It's this dude from England. He speaks Russian, and he travels all around like the Soviet bloc, basically Eastern Bloc, all that, like all those countries over there. He travels. He actually goes to like a couple other countries that were like close to Russia during the Cold War,
Yeah,
and a couple other ones that like
Ukraine,
formed.
Croatia, that kind of shit.
Yeah, like he goes to all those countries, and then he goes to like randomly Cuba and somewhere in Africa a couple times.
Well, yeah.
And then he's like
Yeah,
traveling through the Middle East, like countries that are close to Russia now and stuff. Like, I don't mean like physically close. I mean like financially,
yeah, like
politically.
Turkmenistan,
Yeah, yeah,
Uzbekistan,
yeah.
that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Really
But
interesting
nah,
dude.
man, I don't want to hear about the Cold War and shit. I want to know about like the 1200s. What were these people doing when we didn't know what iron was? You know,
Yeah,
that's what
they're.
I want to know about.
Okay, I get that. That'd be pretty cool.
I think that's
I
really
think
really
there's
important.
like
Like,
it's not Russia, but it's like one of those, like again, like one of those Eastern Bloc countries where they have a there's a type of soldier, I think it was, where like they would ride around back in the day, and they were trained in all sorts of battle tactics, and it has something to do with like Turkey and like Russia. I want to say like it's a mixture of like their cultures, so it might be like Romania or something. And there's a special soldier. I can't remember what it's called, but that is something that like you would. It looks like you'd see it at a Ren Fair, and they keep all that stuff alive. God, I really want to look it up now because I'm like, what is that? But it's like
if
this.
only you had a computer at hand.
I know. Oh yeah, duh. What?
Were you
Let's
getting on your
see.
phone to look it up?
Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. I have no idea even how to look this up. Like, I might even be wrong. God damn it. Might be Ukraine.
I mean, Ukraine's pretty close to Russia,
It is
physically
true.
and financially. Pretty sure Russia just believes that they have the Ukraine as part of them.
Yeah, that's a that yeah, that's really crappy too because Ukrainians hate that shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, but like, hey, that's what I hear. That's what I hear.
Yeah,
But no, I just think it's like I just think it's cool to like know where people come from, you know, like where countries come from, you know. And that's one thing that really gets me about America being kind of shitty in this regard is the like what America started as, and I mean like before 1492, is like in no way reflected by America now. You know, you go to like Germany, you go to England, you can kind of see into the past a lot, but America is just its own thing now. It's new. It doesn't really have a lot of history, a lot of foundation. I mean, yeah, we have a lot of history because we've done a lot of stuff because we just have to be the center of attention all the time. But when it comes to like our ancient history or what have you, it's just gone, dude. Like like that great Native American city on the Mississippi, down by St. Louis. It's gone. Nothing left. They built over it. There's a hill. Well, mound.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, most people don't even know about it, and it was like the biggest, early people civilization in history. Well, I mean, maybe not like Egypt, but in North America at least.
Jed, this is really upsetting me. I can't figure this out. Because it'd be really cool to talk about. So there's this island in Ukraine, right? And these guys train like these soldiers would, and they live like them, and all this stuff. God damn it, I really think it's Ukraine, but I feel like I'm messing up somehow. I'm messing this up, and that sounds stupid. And they do like presentations and everything for schools and tourists and all that stuff. But these people like literally just live on the island. They ride horses. They train on horseback. They train with like these special swords. They train with like old school cannons that they would have used back in the day.
Uh-huh.
Really cool. And I just can't find it. I'm looking around. I still can't find it. It's a real thing. Like I feel like you don't believe me. I can't find this.
I believe you that there's still like a regiment of people that, cling to the old ways of training and fighting, that get like attached to like normal, troops. I believe you, but it would be cool to know what they're called and who they fight for.
Yeah,
So
like
it's not that I don't believe you, Mark. It's that I'm disappointed.
I'm. Oh, that hurts so much more.
I know, dude. I know. Anytime somebody's like, I'm not mad, just disappointed. Like, oh, my heart. How could you? I am so sorry. How could I have done this? How could I have let you down in this way?
Damn it. I feel like I'm just killing time on the podcast now. I don't know.
Well, we just crossed 1 hour. So with that, hey, Mark's going to keep looking this up into the future. We're going to get this like nailed down. We're going to find out who it is. Okay. We will get you the answers because you deserve them. In the meantime,
You do.
we deserve a little some too. Okay. We deserve a little some. It's not much. You just got to click a couple buttons, subscribe. That's all we want. Just subscribe. And I understand, maybe you got to log in. It's 2021. Just stay logged in. Get the app and stay logged in. Okay? It's that easy. And then subscribe because we deserve it. If you want to give us a little bit of extra, a little bit of extra loving, you could like the video if you'd like. Makes us aware that this is the kind of content you want to see. And if for some reason you don't want to look at our beautiful faces, but you still want to hear about us, talking about stuff and trying to figure out this world we live in and examining what we've been taught and told. Well, you can check us out, sound only, on Apple Podcasts and Spotify under the same name, The Gentleman's Bureau. And in the meantime, we're going to get back to living our lives, collecting stories, thinking of questions, That's what we're doing. Every day we're out there. We're thinking, like, what can I bring back to the Bureau?
Exactly.
Anyway,
Don't think about what your bureau can do for you, or what you can do for your bureau.
think not what your Bureau can do for you. Instead, think of what you can do for the Bureau.
That sounds like something.
The only thing we have to fear is the government.
Exactly.
Honestly, I feel like JFK would approve of that message. Actually, considering that he was killed by the deep state.
Yeah.
Anyway,
100.
we've been over that before, and we'll be over it again, don't you worry. In the meantime, y'all stay humble out there, stay kind, treat others like you want to be treated, all that good stuff. And hey, we'll see you here next week on the Gentleman's Bureau. Bye.